Hello, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about PyGenius. If you recall from my last videos, I didn't explain some things very well and I couldn't complete the PyGenius tutorial entirely. So I'm going to be redoing the tutorial from top to bottom and I'm going to make it more clear and I will take it slowly so that you can be able to understand what I'm actually doing. So first thing first, we are going to start dealing with reflection of Java class in Python. Let me pull up my browser so that you see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So we are going to deal with reflection classes. Reflection means you're trying to implement the Java class actually in Python. Yeah, kind of like you are overriding or you're subclassing the Java class. But here, what we are doing is we're not overriding per se, and we're not subclassing. We are trying to imitate that Java class in Python class. Let me show you an example so that we don't get lost. So first of all, I'm going to import um, Java class. Then I'm going to import meta Java class. Then I'm going to import Java method. Okay. Now I want you to look closely. What I'm going to try to do here is to implement the string Java class in Python class, not the auto class that you know. I know most of you know auto class already, but here we're going to deal with uh, the main class itself, not the auto class. For example, let's say I want to implement the Java class of string in Python. All I have to do is create a string class in Python and then subclass Java class in it and then assign the meta class to meta Java class. If you don't know what meta Java class is, I would advise you to go and Google that. It's it's hard and pretty easy if you know what you're doing. It was easy for me to understand to an extent, though I couldn't understand the whole thing, but it's a little bit easy. So we're going to create a Java class variable and set it to Java /lang/string. Next thing is that we are going to create the constructor. Okay, let me skip constructor first. Let's do some test with these. So basically, constructors are init method. In Java, we call them constructors. In Python, we call them the init method. That is your underscore def. You do something like this. The initializing method, something like this. So, but in Java, we don't have something like this. You use Java constructor. I will still write some code in Java to show you what a constructor is. So, for example, we can call string. Let's say print string, right? And see what's going on here. So our code is coming up. Nothing is going to be outputted on the command line on the console. It's going to take some time to set itself up because I think this is the first time I'm running. Yeah, okay. So this is the first time I'm running Genius or PyGenius. So it takes some time to initialize the Java JVM environment. So you can see here, it showed me some stuff like this. But also note that um, the string class takes some parameters. It takes a string parameter. We can say something like hello, but I think it's going to give us an error, right? So invalid call, number of arguments mismatch for constructor available. So the only constructor available is an empty parameter, no other parameter. What if we want to include those parameters that we are missing? So let me take you to the documentation, and when you look down here, you see Java constructors. So here, this is how, forget the double import, it's supposed to be a single importer. It says here empty empty parameter, that is the first. Then second is a string parameter, and the v here means it returns a void, that is, it returns nothing. The empty bracket means it accepts this, it accepts no parameter. Then here it accepts string parameter, here it accepts a char, an array of char parameters, so on and so forth. So how do we know Java signatures? These are all Java signatures, right? And how do we know what parameters a Java class constructor accepts? How do we know that? I don't use Java, you don't use Java, but you have a JVM running on your machine. It's pretty easy on how to check that. Let me show you. So down here, um, in the documentation, they gave an example for us. This is how you assess it. So you are going to head over to your terminal and type java -p, java p -s, then the name of the Java class, right? So this is the package, and then the Java class. But what we are trying to check is the string class. Now I'm going to head over here to my terminal and run java p -s, then java.lang.string. Let's see what we'll see here. So actually we are looking for, where is my find? We are looking for java.lang.string. Yeah. Yeah. So we found the first one, java.lang.string. Okay, let me put a bracket so that it will match all. So this one accepts an abstract string builder and a void, java-lang void class. So the next one here is an array of char and an integer, and a void class. Let's look for another one. If you look below, you'll see the Java signature of each constructor. You can have multiple constructors with multiple parameters depending on what you want to do, but here I'm not here to teach you Java. I'm only here to show you how to find it and show you what you will be looking for. What you'll be looking for precisely is this Java signature here below. So public Java lang string, as you can see, this shows that this is a constructor. The name of the class is Java lang string. Let's move to the top so that you'll see. Yeah. So it says here compile from string.java blah blah blah. Public final class java.lang.string. This is the class. This is the first constructor, public java.lang.string. Once you see java.lang.string and an immediate enclosing bracket, then know that that is a constructor. Let me show you an example of what is not a constructor here. So this is not a constructor. Java.lang.string, then new string, no repo. Now, what this means is that this method is no string, new string, no repo method, and it returns Java string. It returns a string for you, that is a Java string, and it accepts this argument byte, Java NIO charset, blah blah blah. Now, if you look closely at the signature, you will see that it returns, no, it accepts byte, then Java. The L means, hey, I'm trying to access an object, a Java object. You must put an L in front of a Java object. So byte, accept byte, it accepts Java NIO blah blah blah, an object, and then returns whatever that is outside of the bracket is the returning value. So this returns a string. That's it. Now what we're looking for is just some few constructors which we will be needing, and it is not one of these. It should be, that should be L here. Okay, maybe there's no L. Yeah, okay, so there's no L. Yeah, but there is L in the descriptor, that is the signature. So it accepts a string. This is the one we're looking for. All right, so all I'm going to do is to copy this and have it at the back of my mind. Control Shift C, copy that, and then move over to my code. So what I'm trying to do now is to access this constructor because I'm trying to pass in hello inside of this constructor. So we're going to create a Java constructor variable. Notice how I named it with an underscore. Please do the same. If you don't do the same, it's going to fail. Now you open a bracket, you open another bracket, right? You can make it a list, but here I'm using a tuple. There's no need adding extra in the future, but now I just want to use this. Then I'll paste this. Oh god. Oh, I think it's went ahead to copy that. You should see. Yeah, good. Now I would put false here because the documentation is kind of like lying to us, or there is a bug. It's not exactly the way you saw it here. Like you put your empty, I don't accept any argument, I accept um, this public method here, the string, I access, sorry, excuse me, calm down. So I accept the string parameter. No, you must put this in a bracket and say what parameter you're accepting, and then whether it is a var args or not var arg. So actually, I checked the source code, which I re-edited, and discovered that there was a mistake in the documentation. So, and not with the code itself, the PyGenius code. So, which I checked, there was a mistake with the documentation. So, is that you put true or false? But just try true. If you put true here, there's going to be an issue. You put true. Let me show you. And let's say I come down here and say hello. Let me run this program. You'll see what I'm talking about. What am I missing? Okay. I don't know what I'm missing exactly, but let me add the second parameter. This is not okay. So string dot. So all right, okay, I will get back to this. Let me take you to the second Java reflection, then we'll come back to what error you might be getting from this. So this is the way you assign an init method. If there are multiple init method, uh, if there are multiple constructors, not init method, if there are multiple constructors, you have to add them. Say, okay, what other parameters am I accepting, and then what is it, and is it a var arg or not? So now let's reflect a Java method. How do we reflect a Java method? It's pretty simple. So here I'm going to reflect the toString Java method of the string class. First of all, let's check if toString exists in the string class. So here's my terminal. I'm sorry, what's my search? Let's look for toString. Yeah, it exists. So it returns a string for us. It takes no parameter and then returns a Java string. So we are going to copy this, put the semicolon, then minimize this guy, and then say toString exactly the name of the variable you want to access, and then what you set it to Java method. I mean, you create a Java method and say what parameter and what am I returning? What parameter do I accept and what am I returning? You set this empty parameter and I'm returning a string. So I can now come here and say dot to string, right? Let's see if we'll have any errors or not. No errors, precisely. It used to give me an error. Anyway, okay, let me put a void Let me put a void there. Sorry. Right. Then run this again. No, sorry. Um, supposed to put. Is it true? Let me put true here. So it's supposed to return hello, but it is not returning hello. Though it used to give me an error in the past, I don't know why it decided not to give me an error today. I don't know why. Clearly, I don't know. So we are going to change this to false. Change this guy to false. And then we run our program and expect hello. So actually, this returned a hello. And now if I change this to true, I think it should give me an error. Yeah. Yeah, exactly what I'm looking for. So it says no Java line string construction matching. Sorry, no Java line string constructor matching your arguments requested. So I don't know why it's giving me this kind of error, but it means that this is meant to be false. So in case you are meant to return a value and you're not seeing any value, just try changing this. I don't know what it is exactly. I checked the source code trying to understand it. The source code was written in Python, so I'm not all that good in Python, so I'm trying to understand some things, but I know this should be false generally, and sometimes it might want to be true, but I don't know when it might want to be true. I don't know when. So for now, just keep tweaking it from false to true and false to true to see what works out for you. But mainly by default, just give it false. All right. Now I want you to note something. String has many attributes associated to it. It has different attributes. Let us check the existing attributes after we have created this class. Let's check the existing attributes. Die, and then say string, right? So I'm going to run this, and then you can see the existing attribute plus the toString variable that we just created. Now, if we should count it, let's check how many it is. It is 33 in number, 33 total, right? Now, these are not all the attributes it has. Why? Is because what we did is, initially when you all use auto class, but wait, sure, before I explain this, let me just run auto class so that I'll be able to demarcate both while explaining. So let me import auto class up here and do myself a big favor to actually um comment this guy here, right? And then say string, of course, auto class java.line.string. Right now, as you can see, it has 157 attributes. Let me run this again. 157 attributes, right? And when we created a class, it has only 33 attributes. Why? Reason is because actually what we did with the creating of the class here is that we're trying to tell the JVM, or we're trying to tell Genius not to go and look for other attributes. Just give us only toString. toString is only what we need here. So this saves us time trying to write our programs and trying to bring in many attributes that we don't need. So it helps to increase your program speed. Yeah. So while importing some certain Java class, it helps to increase your program speed. So what we actually did is to remove all that we don't need. Everything that we don't need, we remove them. We only use the one that we need. This is why this is actually much better than AutoClass. AutoClass is, let's say you don't know what to use and you don't know when to use it. Just use AutoClass. So avoid any of these issues. To avoid something like um, no attributes assigned to this, or Java string blah 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 does not have attributes, whatever whatever. So that's just it. Now what we did was just to reflect what we did was just to reflect Java class and Java method. What about reflecting Java fields? So let me show you how to reflect Java fields. Now I'm going to create another class called system. I don't know if you know system. I'll show you what system is in a jiffy. Okay, then I'll say method Java class. Now let me comment this and then import back my auto class. Let me show you what system is. So I'll say auto class java lang system out print line. Hello world. So if I run this program, it's going to print hello world to the terminal. So this is the system out print line in Java. How you use how you print out stuff to the console. You use system.out print line. In Python you use print. Simple, right? So this is what system is. Now what we are trying to access only is the out variable. Excuse me. We're only trying to access the out variable because we want to use the out variable to print out stuff to the console. So for us to be able to access that, we are going to do something like this. We're going to do something like this. Then java /line /system, and then we don't need any constructor because system, I don't think system accepts any constructor, but we don't need the constructor that comes with it. So we are going to set the out variable to a Java field. Excuse me one moment. So I'm back. Now we have Java field here. You know, remember in Java method, why reflecting Java method you use Java method, but why reflecting Java field you use Java field. That is a normal Java variable. Then we are going to apply the signature. And how do we find out about the signature? So we are going to change this to system. Then what we are looking for is out, which should be at the very top. This is in, this is out. Now this is what we are looking for, the signature. That is the descriptor. I'm going to copy this and then back to my IDE. God, my throat. Then paste this here. So what next? We are going to test out our program. There's nothing more to do. There's actually a typewriter sound when I'm pressing my keyboard. I love it. So I will say something like this. Oh, it comes back again. System.out. Oh, why? system.out.print hello world. So we're going to test our program right now, and oh my god, there is an error. Non-type object has no attribute encode. But what is going on here? I must be missing something. Yeah, okay, sorry, I forgot. This is a static variable. This is a static variable. So I'm going to set it to static true. Don't ask me what a static variable is. If you're not a Java developer, just forget about what static variable is and just do it the way I'm doing. Once you get this error, know that, yeah, you're missing something here. And just fix it by doing this, and it should print hello world. Good. So guys, in this video, I have taught you about reflecting Java fields, reflecting Java class, and reflecting Java methods. There's one more thing I will teach you before we wrap up. So let's use an auto class for example here, and I'm going to comment this out and say something like this. As for example, you want to use the from keyword in Java, the from whatever function. What you do is you say get attribute, then run your auto class. Then whatever, let's say some, yeah, the Java class, whatever Java class you want to access it from, then yeah, you get the attribute, and then you can name this function something like this from, yeah, you can name it something like this or whatever thing, but don't name it, don't do this, error. So, or you can even change this to class.